Right. Again, thank you everyone for coming in. For those who are tuning in from Zoom, thank you very much to tuning in. My name is Prima. I'm the lead instructor for Wagon. I'm here presenting to you two batches, not just one, 592 and 539. We have 4 teams presenting their projects today, right? And before we start, of course, I need to introduce to you the team itself. So, first of all, what is Wagon, right? So Wagon itself, even though it's French, it is a French company. That's why the name. We are studying in Paris, and since then we have been exposed ourselves to different countries in the world, and we reached the shore in Singapore in 2019. And since then, since 2 years from there, we have been actually teaching about 6 batches so far, and recently or currently ongoing data science bootcamps as well. Our programs consist of 9 weeks coding bootcamps, and we also have 5 times. That's 24 weeks. This is the structure of the bootcamp itself. Just to give a shameless plug for those who are interested of our bootcamp. It's a product driven, which is the reason why we have this demo day. Because the idea here is that by the end of those bootcamp, we have something to present with and hopefully something to build with, right? But before we jump into the products, I just want to, again, applauding to the team. We have 15 students ranging from different backgrounds. We have multimedia designers, we have people from finance, people in events management, a lawyer, accounts executive, yoga instructors, business analysts from different regions, all of them wanting to upgrade their skills, right? Maybe changing their careers, and perhaps also want to build something after this bootcamp, right? So they are, I would say, a bunch of rock stars, right? So they are rock stars for this bootcamp because it's not an easy journey, right? I think everybody who has gone through this bootcamp can attest that this is not easy. We're not keeping it easy for them, right? We give them fundamentals, and at the end of it, we're also making sure that they can deliver as professional developers, in real life. So they are ready for real life web development projects. Okay, so you know about the shameless plug. Let's start with the projects, right? So if you haven't heard about Mercury in retrograde, then you're probably in the wrong circles, right? Because now everybody's talking about that, right? So the first project is Seer. It's a fortune-telling app, astrology app combined together. The reasons why the team are coming up with this project because the product owners feel that no one's stepping this market yet, right? So and it is a big industry that ripe for innovations, right? Just recent findings that I found, like top 10 US astrology apps right now drew 40 million in 2019, right? Talk about unpredictabilities, right? So everybody's looking for astrologies right now, and hence we have Seer, right? So we have here Aiden, Emilia, and Thomas who will present to you Seer, a fortune-telling app for helping you to guide in life, especially in career, relationship, finance, and health. The floor is to you.
We wanted to find a more modern solution to an old-fashioned industry. So currently, fortune telling is a very old-fashioned industry where a lot of the consultations are physical, and it's more towards the older generation that will use it. But the younger generation is more in tune with things like astrology, and there are a lot of apps for these, and they tend to be quite popular. So we thought that there's a gap in the market, and there is a need for an app that is for fortune telling that can be catered to the younger generation. So this is why we created an app called Seer. So it is a modern solution to an old-fashioned industry, and this will hopefully expand an old-fashioned industry to a younger generation.
I would say my experience at Wagon has been amazing, and I would totally not be able to do the same thing by myself. So I actually started learning how to code about 5 years ago, but I kind of gave up along the way because there was no structure to it. And whatever questions I did, whatever I learned to code, I couldn't really put it in a project like I did over here. So in Wagon, what I really appreciated was the structure of the 9 weeks. So every day we come here and we learn something super in depth. And at the end of the course, we did 3 weeks of project weeks. So we pushed 2 apps to completion. And that helped me a lot because I felt that it mimicked the real world situations. And in the technical interviews that I've done so far, they have asked me about my workflows and processes, and I could easily translate what we did over here into my interviews. So overall, I would think if I had a choice, I would do it again.
For people joining the program, I would give them 3 tidbits of information. Firstly, you need to trust the process. As with learning anything new, it's going to be hard. It's a complicated thing, but the more you learn, the more you practice, the easier it will become, and it will make sense. Secondly, trust the people that are teaching you what you're wanting to learn. The instructors are very good, hands-on, and they will guide you through this journey. And lastly, you should trust yourself. You came here because you're wanting to improve yourself, improve your knowledge base, and gain something extra. Those are the 3 tips I would give for people wanting to come to Wagon.
Hi everyone. So when you think of fortune telling, you probably think of like a bunch of old people going to Chinatown and like consulting a master. It's all very old-fashioned, and it's all very like last century, kind of like a boomer thing. But then we decided that it's such a big industry. It's a very lucrative industry. People pay really good money for fortune tellers. And in this times of uncertainty, in this pandemic and everything, sometimes you just need a little guidance in life. And for the younger generation, a lot of people are quite familiar with astrology apps. You have things like CoStar, and a lot of apps they're quite successful. They generate a lot of revenue. They have a very big user base. So we see a gap in the market, and fortune telling is something that has to be modernized. So we decided to create a fortune telling app called Seer, and we're going to bring you through how this app works. So I'm curious as to how Seer works, so I'm going to try out a free reading and see whether I get anything interesting. So I'll just key in my details. I'm Amelia, yeah. My birthday, I'm going to key in my birthday. I'm very young this year, yeah. Okay, I'll get a reading. So it tells me I was born in the year of the ox, yeah, and there might be issues in easy money transaction, and someone you had to deal with will suddenly back off. I think, that's quite true, I'm trying to go into business with my friends, so I think I'll be careful. I want to find out more, so I'm going to discover my destiny, so let's try that. Okay, so I'm going to sign up now. I'm just going to key in my details. Okay, cool. Oh, oops, sorry. I already signed in before, so maybe I'll try something different. Okay, so it asked me what I'm interested in. I'm kind of interested in everything because I want a lot of guidance in life, so I'm going to choose all 4 subsections. Okay, let's go. Okay, interesting. It tells me a lot of information. My lucky color is green. I'll wear green next time. My lucky number is 9, and I'll go and buy 40 afterwards, I don't know. Okay, so my daily relationship fortune. Some misunderstandings with a love partner can happen today. Okay, I'll take that into account with my imaginary girlfriend. And services, Seer has arranged additional services. Quite interesting. We'll see what we have over here. So let's check out the additional services. Sorry? Oh yeah, I want to check out my relationship fortune with my imaginary girlfriend first. So let's check out my love divination. Okay, so we'll key in the name of the person that you're interested in. And then you can key in the birthday as well. So let's see how compatible we are. Okay, let's hope it's 100%. Let's go. It's only 58%. We're not very compatible. Not bad, but could be better. So, many factors account for this result, like, your other person is volunteer to take upon a year of the horse, blah blah blah. So yeah, not very satisfactory. So I think I might want to see a master instead. So let's see whether I'll get a better reading from an actual fortune teller.
Okay, so the name that you just saw is my actual boyfriend, so it's a bit worrying that it's only 58%. So I think I want to consult maybe Thomas, because I am buying a flat with my boyfriend, so it's a bit scary if it's only 58%. Okay, let's book an appointment for right now. Okay, so I've submitted my request, and I think I'll wait for a while for Thomas to accept my request. Oh, he's accepted it, so I just have to make payment. Okay, it's pretty convenient that I don't have to carry any cash at all. Not like traditional fortune masters. Okay, so my request is confirmed, my payment has gone through, and I think I'll start my video chat with the fortune teller right now. Hi, Master Thomas, nice to meet you. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can see.
Okay, so I'm making a big financial decision soon with my partner, and I was wondering if it will affect our relationship. Can you advise me on this, please?
I think with any relationship, it's important to be honest. Make sure you're aligned and that you invest in money. You buy Dogecoin. It's a surefire way to adjust.
So you're saying the solution to all my problems is Dogecoin?
Correct.
Okay. Oh, I thought it was a meme, but I guess I have to buy some Dogecoin now. Thank you so much. Bye. Okay, so it seems that I have to buy some Dogecoin right now. It's pretty cool, this app, because it allows me to learn everything about myself, from what color I should wear today to what I should do if I want a good relationship with my partner. So that's Seer for you. Chinese fortune telling and feng shui are commonly practiced and widely believed in, and they are even accepted in the Western world right now. However, millennials feel that it's very uncool and old-fashioned to practice all these beliefs. So what we are doing here at Seer is we want to make it more modern and high-tech so that it's accessible to anyone who has a phone. Thank you.
Well done, well done, well done, Team Seer. Let's give it up again for Team Seer. Okay, and here's the final certificate. That's one, that's two, and last one, Mr. Master Dogecoin Thomas. Okay, let's take photo first. Yay! Thank you guys, thank you guys. Oh, again. Here again, yeah. No, go ahead. Yeah. Awesome, guys. Well done. All right, that's the first team that we had so far, right? Next one that I want to talk about is about cycling, right? One of my hobbies these days. So before hipsters and people who suddenly running a specialized bike anyway, thinks that cycling is cool, I already stopped cycling, okay? Just some people here don't believe that, but I do. The reasons why I talk about cycling is because right now BBC reports that many countries, not just Singapore, are seeing the potential of people, getting more healthier, and just on top of that, because of COVID, just avoiding people easily using cycling, right? So reports from BBC saying that Italy is giving some incentive for people to actually cycle without, and also maintain social distancing that way. Paris, I think, blocked one of the biggest road and to allow that for cycling lanes. North-South corridor is coming soon, and I'm very excited about that. And I think it's ripe for innovations again, right? So the next project that that's going to be presented to you is RideNow, right? So this project is owned by Erica, and also with the help of Jack and Anushka. It's trying to help and provide cycling route to consolidate the food sites and cycling routes in Singapore, and they want to help cyclists to get into cycling, right? So without further ado, here's RideNow.
RideNow is a cycling route and itinerary planner that features the best sights and eats of Singapore. A user, Singaporean, can use our app, take his bike out for a spin, and invite his friends on a personalized journey to support the local businesses and just go on an adventure. Anyone can use our app for free, create their own personalized cycling route along with their favorite sights and eats, invite their friends, take their bikes, and go out for an adventure.
I was actually working with my ex-colleague who was a teaching assistant in London Wagon, and she mentioned that how great her experience was, and she really enjoyed programming, and she fell in love with programming because she never coded before, and after coming out of the boot camp, she was like, I love programming now. So I actually had like an amazing experience at Wagon because I got like a real vibe of how our potential future would be looking like as a programmer. I didn't realize I would fall in love with the programming language, Ruby especially, in just 2 months of time, and could build so many awesome things with it. Like we did amazing mini projects, which I never thought I could like actually implement it. On top of that, I come from a coding background. Like I've coded for 4 years back in my university, and I never thought like I could do these things back in university. Now in 2 months, I built so many stuff. We had amazing teachers who were guiding through like how can we improve every day. So I think it was overall such an amazing and growing experience, for sure.
If you're considering a bootcamp at all, first, I would say do some projects, pick up a language to see whether programming, coding spark any joy in you. Once you are confirmed interested, definitely sign up for the Wagon, because the Wagon offers a very rigorous and structured program. So as a student, have an open mind, be proactive, don't be afraid to ask questions. The teachers are really friendly and they do not bite. Trust us. And finally, believe in the system. Everything may seem really, really tough, but at the end of the day, you'll be successful as long as you put in the hard work.
Hello Erica, how are you?
Hey, hello, what's up? I'm good. I'm at home in Hong Kong, and sorry I couldn't see you guys there, but what's up?
I'm actually doing good. You know what? Seer is doing a graduation party in Chinatown, so do you want to catch up?
Okay, cool. I presume I'm invited. That sounds awesome. And what's the plan anyway?
So actually we can cycle there together.
Okay, cool. So what time? If you're free now, maybe we can start off earlier and then have lunch and then do some sightseeing along the way and then slowly make our way to Chinatown.
I think actually that sounds like a good plan. I'm free right now.
Cool. Confession, I am a little bit nervous about cycling on the main road. So if you can avoid the main road when we're training, that would be awesome.
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll keep that in mind and plan a cycle route. Or can we actually get something to eat? I'm sort of starving.
Yeah, cool. I'm a big part of the things in Katong, so if you can look for what's available in Chinatown, I think that would be really good. Yeah, so I have a map and also a guidebook of Singapore, so maybe we can plan our route with this. What do you think?
So old school, Erica. No way, not at all happening. Okay, let me try and figure out some app if there is. So,
Sorry, excuse me. Are you guys looking for an app that does biking and routing?
yes.
Oh, do you need the app? Do you need the app to also bring you the best sights and eats of Singapore?
Absolutely.
Introducing RideNow. It's a web application lovingly created by 3 Wagon students, and it brings you the perfect cycling route that matches the best eats and sights of Singapore. You girls are heading from Katong to Chinatown, is that right? Why don't we enter that into the search parameters?
Okay. Good song. Chinatown. Oops.
It's okay. Have you guys gone to Chinatown before to cycle?
Actually, not. I haven't explored Chinatown that much.
Great. So our app will show you all the listings and amazing sites and restaurants that you can explore. Okay, so
Sure.
immediately after keying your parameters, right now we'll present you a map of all the listings, and being Singaporeans and tourists, we love options. So we show you as much as possible. See, so on the map, you can see plenty of listings, but we want to narrow down our search a little bit. So why don't we go ahead and click on the filter option to do that.
Okay, I'm actually craving for local food, so hawker would be...
Perfect choice. We actually have hawker under eats.
Oh, great.
Yep, let's do that. And when we are in Chinatown, I'm sure everybody will recommend Maxwell Food Center for their amazing hawker dishes like Tian Tian chicken rice. So we can scroll down. Yep.
Try to find it.
Did you know that Gordon Ramsay actually challenged Tian Tian chicken rice to a chicken rice showdown?
Okay.
And he actually lost.
Here it is.
Yep, there we go. I can add that. Would you like to visit anywhere along the way? Like
Yes.
sightseeing, since you have your delicious lunch settled?
Yeah, actually. I think Marina Barrage looks good.
Okay, we can go ahead and select that.
Okay.
Anywhere
And-
else?
How about Red Dot?
It's a very interesting place. I haven't been there. I've been wanting to. All right, so it looks like an exciting journey.
Okay.
Give us your best creative name.
Seer Party. Not anything creative.
Oh, I thought you could try better. But let's go with that for now. And Viola, there we go. This is your own personalized, customized route that will take you through East Coast Park, down Marina East, a little bit across the barrage, through your itineraries, and then finally bring you to Chinatown. The entire trip takes slightly over an hour, covering a total distance of 13 kilometers.
Oh, and it avoids the expressways, right?
Yep, it definitely avoids the expressways, and we try to right now try to avoid the major busy roads as much as possible. And we even provide the turn-by-turn instructions so that you will not get lost at any point along the way.
Oh, okay. And it has all the listings that we have selected.
Yeah, you can go ahead and hover your mouse on the right side to just make double confirm. You have Marina Barrage and Red Dot Science Museum.
Yeah.
Red Dot Museum, sorry, and Tian Tian Hainanese Chicken Rice.
Okay.
Perfect. So if you and Erica is ready, you can go ahead and share this with her.
Okay. Sure. And
Why don't we tag Erica? Yeah.
There you go. Let's go. And I'll post it to Facebook.
So we have
It's done.
successfully shared.
Yeah.
You can check that out in the timeline if you want and
Okay.
see if.
And here we
Yeah.
go.
Oh, she has already responded. Wow, that's great. Okay, let's cycle back to. Okay, so if you want to look at the routes that you have created, you can click on the portrait
Oh.
and rediscover your routes.
Hmm.
Cool. Okay, so if you go back to the main page and scroll down slightly, we have the other exciting routes that our users have generated. If you can feel free to click into any one of them. Anything catches your eye, share with your friends too. And
Spiritual exploration.
Spiritual exploration, yeah. Try not to do it at night. Okay, not recommended. You can go back. Okay, so finally we have a little area where our editors have contents to, for example, support our local hawkers to tide through a difficult time during the heightened COVID restrictions. So that's it. I will leave the writing to you guys and hope you enjoy your ride and enjoy RideNow. Yeah. Thanks for attending our demo.
And yeah,
Erica.
Erica.
I'm Jack.
Anushka.
Yay. And we'd like to thank our instructors, Prima and Miguel. Hi, Miguel. Liana, an amazing Wagon team. Our batchmates who are always supportive. And the new batch. I mean, you guys are going to do great, I'm sure. All the best in your careers in future. Keep in touch. Yep, that's all.
Yeah, well done, well done, well done. Sorry, Erica, we lost your face just now. Right, so now I know how to look for the next routes for my bike trip. This is for you. This is for you. This over there. Okay, I'm holding it for Erica. Here. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. Congrats, guys. Yeah. The next one is about career building, right? I know it's from cycling to career building, right? It all starts with a small itch, okay? So Min Young, the project owner for this project called ConnectDots, felt an itch, right? The itch is that how come that there's no way for us to connect to anybody who's trying to switch a career, right? So, and this is an interesting phenomenon because a third of all SG industries have trying to increase technology spending right now, and everybody's are moving to tech, right? But right now, how to go into tech is very difficult, right? Also, not knowing whether it's good for you, whether it's something that you'll probably appreciate. That's another thing, right? And right now, most of the tech gurus out there, they come from different backgrounds, they come from different industries. They might say something that's not relevant to you. So, the next project, ConnectDots, is trying to help career switchers to start from where you are now, right? So I'm welcoming Min Young, Nicole, Saikat, and Chris to the floor and to present ConnectDots.
Our project name is ConnectDots. ConnectDots is a social platform for people who wish to switch their career from one industry to another. It's a platform where people can find other people who come from a similar background, find mentors and get advice. At the same time, they can build their own roadmap based on their personal profile.
It was actually quite tough in the beginning, and there were times that I feel like giving up. But the instructor was quite encouraging, and so I stayed on, and it was overall a very fruitful experience for me.
My advice that I can give to people interested in joining the program or just about to join the program is to have an open mind about what you're going to learn. The program does not discriminate whether you have prior experience in programming at all. And the program will really run fast, so you have to be mentally prepared and give as much time as you can in learning and practicing the things that you'd be doing in class.
Well, I settled on doing the Wagon program after quite a bit of research on the net on what options were available in terms of similar kinds of teaching, whether it's from other universities, institutes, online programs, etc. And after considering all those things, I took in two more important considerations. The fact that I had to balance the requirements of a regular day job and also do this pretty exacting program. The other thing which made me settle for Wagon was the knowledge or the understanding that everything that I would do would be pretty much hands-on. So I would actually be doing and learning, building stuff at the same time, which really appealed to me. So those are the main considerations which finally made me go in for the Wagon Bootcamp, and no regrets at all. It has been a wonderful experience.
So standing here right now brings me back to the time when I first decided to learning coding 2 years ago. I used to have a lot of questions, concern, fear on what programs to take, what courses to choose. I was even thinking, should I just continue those free online courses? Or I even questioned myself, is it even possible to become a software engineer without a proper CS degree? And early last year, I was just randomly going through Medium and I read an article. The title was How a Nursing School Dropout Became a Software Engineer Without a CS Degree. So it was written by a guy based in San Francisco. He used to be a nursing student, and he joined some boot camp, and he also studied by himself, and then now he became a software engineer and some entrepreneur. So his article was super inspiring. I reached out to him to get more advice, and we talked for like 2 hours, and he gave me really good advice, which helped me to feel more confident in joining bootcamp and starting my path to software engineer. And he also told me that one of the reasons why he decided to give me advice was because when I shared with him my concern, he said he could relate them because those concerns that I shared with him was what he felt when he started all this journey. So, and he also said that it would have been better if there was someone who could have provided those advice when he started everything. So switching your career to a new industry, especially from a complete irrelevant industry, sounds really exciting, but it's a very scary journey because it's not as straightforward as you going to a business school or becoming a consultant, or you going to a med school or becoming a doctor, or it's not even as easy as you switching from marketing to sales. So just as how I got so much help from those people all over the world, and seeing all those hundreds of content questions on Medium, Reddit, YouTube every day, people questioning about, what courses should I take to become a software engineer? Is it even possible? Like, I see all those questions, and I was thinking, it'll be nice to have a social platform called ConnectDots, where people like me or people like you or whoever wishes to switch their career to another industry to come together, meet people, find mentors, get advice, and at the same time, they can start building their own planner based on their roadmap, based on their profile. So today, I'm going to go back to me 2 years ago when I desperately needed this kind of platform, and I'm going to show you as a user how I'm going to get the benefit of it. So we are in the main page of the ConnectDots here. So what's good about here is that even before you sign up, you can start adding your basic information and can start connecting with other people. So I'm gonna start adding some of my basic information. So I'm currently working as a product marketeer, and I'm working in InsurTech, so I'm gonna choose IT tech, and I wanna switch to full stack engineer, and let's see what I got. All right, so there you go. So now I got some list, and this view is a little blurred out because I'm not signed up yet, I guess. And we see, so the way it works is, so ideally we want to match people based on the full profile, but if there's no profile that matches my profile 100%, then it will give you the partial profile based on either my current role, current industry, or future role. So here I see that since there's no profile that matches what I'm looking for from marketing to full stack engineer, I only got the result based on my future role. So I see everyone who became a first full stack engineer. So I will try to see maybe Xiao's profile here, and let's see what happens. Oops, so I'm not logged in here. So let's sign up first. And so I'll skip the sign up process because it's quite long. So now that you completed your sign up, and now I have a full access to see the full profile. And before that, I want to scroll down, not here. Maybe you go back
to the page, and I want to scroll up and down to see what kind of people are there, and maybe I can start exploring, and then we can go up. So I want to start connecting with some people. So maybe Chao Wei's profile looks interesting. So let's go for that first. And I see that, yeah, he's also based in Singapore, and some of his highlights, how he started. And I see that what motivated him to start to switch to tech and his experience and advice. So yeah, take baby steps. Like all those advice seems really good. So I want to start connecting with him. So I want to add him first. Maybe I want to explore other people as well here. And let's see who's interesting again. And I see Anne. Yeah, she's very pretty here, so I want to connect with her as well. Yeah, so she's also based in Singapore, and I see that her highlights, she achieved her goal within 12 months, and what was her motivation to achieve to become a full stack engineer, and her experience and advice. So yeah, I found this profile very interesting, and I want to connect with her as well. So now that I'm connected with her, and maybe I want to explore further about what was the path that she took, and I want to see her roadmap here. So now I'm in Anne's roadmap. So on the left side, this is the roadmap that how she achieved from business analyst to full stack engineer. And on the right side, I see the full profile of Anne. So for example, on the highlights, I see her basic information, where she's based in, what work she used to work for, and I see that she spent 3,000 in order to achieve her goal. And I see that she spent 12 months in order to reach her goal. And we can also see the course list, which she added to her roadmap. So I see that she also took Wagon, some Coursera course, which took 4 months, and all those lists. And I see her motivation, what drove her to become a full stack engineer, and her journey experience and her advice. So I quite like her profile, and I was also considering joining Wagon as well. So I want to copy this roadmap, and maybe I can start building my own roadmap here. So now I selected Anne's roadmap, and I can see the list of courses here that I can start adding. But before that, I was still debating whether to join Wagon or not, because it's quite expensive. I don't know if it will worth my time or money. So maybe I can try talking to Anne and figure it out. So I just connected with Chao Wei and Anne, so I can start talking to Anne here. So I'm gonna just start asking Anne her experience in Wagon, and I'll just say, how's your experience? And maybe she'll give some answer whether to join it or not. So yeah, she's saying something. Yeah, so she's saying, yeah, it was a bit tough in the beginning, but yeah, she said it's a really good program that will help to gain a lot of useful skills. So I got some positive feedback about Wagon, and maybe I want to consider adding this. So I'll go back to building my roadmap page, and I want to see which courses to add here. So since I'm considering to becoming a full stack engineer within 8 months, then I want to add Wagon, and maybe I want to add something like Odin project, for example. And let's save first and see how my initial roadmap looks like. So this is how my roadmap builder looks like. So based on my timeline, it adds the roadmap based on the month, the duration of the course. And I see that unfortunately I'm very poor, so I can only afford 3,000 in order to reach my goals. But then the courses that I added here exceeds my budget, so that's why I got this warning message. So probably I might need to remove one of those courses in order to balance my budget. And yeah, so now it matches, but maybe I still have 4 months left, and I want to add some free courses here. So yeah, there is General Assembly, which is free, so I'm going to add it to my class, and yeah, so it's added to my December course. And now I built this roadmap based on Anne's, so maybe there might be some other people, they also built their roadmap, so I want to see other people's suggested roadmaps here as well. And I see different people's suggested roadmap as well. And so earlier I connected with Chao Wei, so I want to see what courses he took in order to become a full stack engineer. So I see that he took a lot of interesting courses, YouTube, Wagon. So maybe I want to update my roadmap based on his roadmap as well. So I'm going to select this. And I still have 3 months left, so I'll try to find some courses that match my timeline, and maybe I can go with some courses that require 3 months. Maybe you can add this Odin project back again. Yep, so yeah, so unfortunately it still exceeds my budget, but I can balance it later. So that's pretty much how the roadmap works. And if there's any question that I have in terms of the course or program, then I can always go back to search and start trying to find other people and trying to connect the dots again. So initially, this project was started as a platform to connect people who switch from one industry to another just for tech, but we built it just for the people who switch to tech as a demo. So if you guys are interested to meet other people from different industry, you guys feel free to sign up. And before I end this, I want to thank our amazing team, Saika, Chris, Nicole, for amazing work. I really appreciate their tremendous effort. And in the name of our team, I want to thank every instructor, Migo, Prima, Grace, and for their amazing support throughout our journey. You guys have been tremendously helpful, and we learned a lot from you guys. So thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
See the paper of your 24 weeks. This is Nicole. Okay. All right, so I hope now, wherever you may be, whether you join Wagon or not, can be helped by this website. You know where to look for it, and just look at this videos later on, and perhaps you can connect the dots. Okay, next one, last but not least, is our final app to project, right? So, okay, how many of you are like Debt Club here? Like here, Debt Club, mortgage, right? So, so I'm in the I hope I'm still in millennial groups, but Bankrate recently found that 83% of millennials don't think they'll ever retire. That's very sad. And Deloitte also found 4 takeaways in the latest banking trend in this generation. One, they don't really trust banks, cryptos, right? Their financial needs goes beyond products, right? They go thinking beyond like, oh, okay, I need travels, I need a family, right? Or I need explorations of myself, right? So how to do that, right? Right now, banks doesn't really support those thinking, right? And it does not come at the right time, right? Or on top of that, it may be not really helpful, right? So the next app is Savvy, right? And the product owner is Sean, right? Who's here to tell you about how we can use Savvy to democratize high-quality financial advice. And joining Sean as well in his presentations is Yonsu and Xiaowei, who will then finish this demo day. So, your time.
We are Team Savvy. We built a financial planning app for people to be able to create their own free financial plans. Right? We understand that there are a lot of planning apps out there, but we found them a little bit inadequate, and I think in 2 ways, right, that we tried to address. One was we tried to factor in the effects of inflation, right, which is particularly important, especially as you are planning out, 30, 40 years into the future. The second thing that we try to take into consideration is people's home equity, right? For many people, their house is their greatest store of wealth. And we wanted to make sure that as people were planning for their futures, that wealth is also being factored in and considered.
My experience in Wagon was indeed quite challenging because I took like part-time course for 6 months, and I had to juggle with my work and study. So it's quite challenging, but As long as you have a strong motivation, it's really like push you to learn, even though you're quite tired after work. And also teachers and teammates are very helpful. So every time you reach out for help, they were very eager to help. So yeah, it's very good learning environment, and it was great experience for me.
So I chose Wagon because it was one of the very few classes, coding bootcamps in Singapore that was in person. And I felt that in-person instruction was particularly important and helpful in my learning.
My advice to give to future students, I would say be bold. I know like most of the students who wants to participate this course they don't have any coding background and also have a very diverse background. But don't be afraid even though you don't know anything about coding, because this course is opted for beginners. And yeah, it might be challenging because the course pace is quite hectic, but I guarantee that you will learn a lot and also will meet great teammates.
Hi everyone, my name is Sean, and these are my teammates Jiawei and Yongsu on the far right. So we are Team Savvy, right? And Savvy is a financial planning app. The importance of a financial planning is, I think, pretty apparent, right? I think for the reasons why most people will need a financial plan, if you scroll down, right, is people, generally people with financial plans are about 2.5 times more likely to achieve their retirement goals, right? Frankly, financial plans also ensure that people have enough and make them a little bit less stressed, right, about trying to reach, do I have enough? What if I can't retire? Do I have enough for my kids, right? Then the question becomes, there are a gazillion financial planning apps out there, right? Every bank has one. So why do we go about creating another one? This is because when we looked across the market, we found that a lot of financial planning apps were there were two major shortfalls that we think they didn't address. One big one was inflation, right? So inflation doesn't seem like a lot, right? Inflation is 1.52%, right? But when you're planning on the course of a 30 or 40-year time frame, it's massive, right? By the time I retire, chicken rice is going to be $10, right? And so if you're not factoring that in, that's going to be a huge problem. The second thing that a lot of financial planning apps don't take into account is the value of your home equity, right? Singapore has a 90% home ownership rate. If you're not factoring in the value of your house, which is the single largest asset that you have, how are you going to actually create a plan that makes sense for you? So those were the things that we tried to address with Savvy, right? So this is the site, we're going to go straight in. So when you first come in, right, we ask you for some very basic information about when you are born, monthly income and monthly expenses. And you click view projection and that, boom, brings you straight into the main page, right? We've actually preloaded some data, but what you immediately notice is that once we have your monthly savings, we are automatically able to put aside, right, how much you have in your CPF, which is your retirement account in Singapore, right, which anybody working in Singapore, Singaporeans and permanent residents, right, will have to contribute to. So those are statutory percentages. What you also notice at the bottom right is that all the information that you put in at any point in the app, right, will be reflected in these accordions, right? And as I said, we've pre-filled some, but we're going to go ahead and fill in some information, and I'll show you how the app works. So let's go ahead and add some assets, right? We've already added cash and stocks just to make this a little bit faster. Let's add in some bonds, right? So imagine if we have bonds, right? Let's say it's 20,000, right? Bonds typically grow at about 3%, right? And let's say of my monthly savings, I want to allocate 10% to bonds, right? So you click confirm, and this gives you very simple portfolios, cash, stocks, bonds, right? Go back. What you immediately then see is, actually before that, let's add expenses. So, imagine I'm a young couple, right? I am just going to get married next year, so I'm going to save up my wedding, right? 2023, let's say weddings today go for about $50,000 in Singapore, roughly, right? One thing you immediately notice is that we adjust not just the current value, but the inflation adjusted value, right, of when you actually incur the expense. Let's add another expense, right? We may want to have a kid, right? And so this is an expense that's much further out. So let's put in, a child education, right? And put that for the year 2039, right? That's when my kid will be 18 or 19 years old, right? And college today in Singapore, let's say $60,000, right, across 4 years. And that number is going to be much higher, right, obviously. So it's closer to like $85,000, $90,000. So if you click back, right, with this information, we can already give you some advice, right? So let's look at the bottom left-hand corner and look at what is the portfolio advice. The advice tells you, hey, actually, your portfolio is actually a little bit conservative, right? Under a low-risk target allocation, you could actually have about $140,000 more by retirement. And if you're a little bit more risky, you can actually make up to $250,000 more, right? And you have a high cash position. So why do we say that, right? So you click and you view detail, and we actually break out, right? And look at, this is what your current allocation will look like, right? Notice the little dip that shows, when you're planning for your kids' education, right? We compare it against, a benchmark index for stocks and a benchmark index for bonds, right? And we constitute, hey, these are the kind of, this is the bright orange line, right? Kind of shows where you are, and, the two blue lines of different shades actually give you sort of what you could be, right? We also understand that, risk is obviously a big concern for a lot of people, right? They want to invest, they don't want to lose money, right? So then we also build in this thing called a sensitivity analysis that says, hey, this is the average outcome, right? But stocks is volatile. What happens if it's, I'm really, really unlucky, right? And I end up in, I'm just so unlucky, and what happens then? So we actually looked at the same 3 portfolios, and we looked at, not just the average, but what happens at the 10th percentile and what happens at the 90th percentile, right? And so this gives you at least a range of, hey, I have at least a 90% chance that this is going to be how much I'm going to end up with, right? And this gives you people a little bit more food for thought around, how do I want to sort of adjust my asset allocation, right, relative to where I am. So let's go back. So I've covered one part, which is the portfolio. The second big part of our app, as I mentioned, is touching on property, right? So if you look at add property, let's click that, right? There's no properties added. Let's go ahead and add a property. I'm actually going to put in my parents' place, the house that I grew up in, right? Which is, the first postcode 527450, right? You key in the floor number, the unit number 374, right? It's a 5-room flat, 125 square meters, right? Let's call it 3% projected growth rate, and we've owned it since 2015. Loan amount was $450,000, right? And at an interest rate of, right now interest rates are pretty low, right? 1.75. Please refinance if you haven't refinanced already. Loan tenure is 25, right? So as Xiaoyi clicks confirm, right, we automatically actually pull the real-time value of that HDB unit based on the most recent transactions that have occurred within that estate, right? So immediately you see that the property value shows up, right? And you also see the number of the lease remaining on that property based on when it was first constructed, right? And it tells you it's a HDB 5-room. I wish my house was this nice. So let's go back to the main page and look at what kind of advice we get from property, right? So on the home equity side, it's a bit dense. So let me walk you through it. So it says that hey, the equity on your home is projected to increase at 1.8% annually, right? This is the total return, right? And how much it is in real and nominal terms. And it also gives you advice. Hey, actually, you know what? Your nominal return is actually higher than your CPF return. So you should actually use your CPF funds to service your mortgage, right? And it tells you if you were to refinance today, you would save about $52 monthly and about $10,000 over the life of the loan, right? The last thing it tells you is that, the unique thing about HDBs in Singapore is that they're all 99-year leases, which means that at some point, right, the value of the asset is going to drop. So it actually projects out when the property is going to peak and at what point it's going to drop. So in this case, this property is going to peak at 2063, after which it's going to, take a decline. So let's actually look into the detail and look at what those charts actually look like, right? So in this case, you see 3 lines in the chart, right? The bright orange line shows you kind of like the property appreciation, so what this property is expected to appreciate at, right? We subtract out from that, right, what we call lease decay, which is, a table that comes from the Singapore Land Authority that tells you, at various times, right, a leasehold property versus a freehold property value, right? And that gives you the net property value. And then the last line that you see, right, obviously you have your mortgage, right? Your mortgage gives you leverage, right? But it allows you to accrue home equity. At some point you finish paying your loan. So in this case, you finish paying in 2036, right? And then after that, you own your home free and clear. And then it peaks in 2063, and then it starts coming down, right? So, that's the home equity chart. We've actually, for good measure, also thrown in for the people who want to look at their own HDBs, right? How their mortgage amortization will happen, how much of the home equity, and there's a lot of information here, which I think, for some people might be useful. So that's kind of, the main parts of our app that I wanted to show you, right? I might just leave you with a story, right? So this is a story about a guy that was born in 1920, right? He's a guy in the US, was born in 1920s. He fought World War II, right? Lived, to a ripe old age of, I think, 92 or 94, right? He started off, after fighting World War II, he became a store cleaner, right? And then worked at a petrol station for most of his life, right? He made the news actually 5 years ago in the US because he died. And he died leaving behind $8 million to charity. And a lot of people ask, hey, how did this guy who, spent his whole life working as a petrol station uncle and a cleaner at a store, how did he accumulate $8 million? Did he win the lottery, or somebody gave him some lucky windfall or something like that? And no, he didn't. The only thing he did was that, 1, he lived very long, 2, he saved a lot, and 3, he invested. Right, and he didn't take big risk. He invested in very safe blue chip companies in the S&P, right? And this was a story that was profiled in the Wall Street Journal. This is something there's a Wikipedia page that's written about him, right? Obviously, I'm not saying let's go out there and get our millions, right? All I'm saying is, it is possible to slowly accumulate, and that could give us, a sense of possibilities of what we can do with our life. So with that, thank you.
Okay, please don't be a gas station janitor by this, right? But please invest your money well, okay? All right, okay. All right. Woo! All right. All right, and that's it, right? That's it. That's 4 teams that we had so far. I'm just gonna play this. Okay, we have this superstar from 539-592, Erica, Aiden, Anushka, Amelia, Jack, Thomas, Miyong, Sean, Nicole, Yonsu, Saikan, and Chawi. Thank you so much for the opportunities. Thank you so much for the grueling 24 weeks and 9 weeks if you're in full time. It's not easy. It's not easy for you. It's not easy for us. It's not easy for everybody here, right? But you guys stick through to it, right? And I appreciate your effort and your time in this journey. I also would like to thank everybody in the team. Thank you, Dirk, for making this happen, right? This is not this 2 years has not been easy for us. There's a lot of things happening. COVID. Have to go remote, have to go full time, have to go remote, have to go full time again, right? Liana for making it happen. Grace and Anne, right? The superstar, I'm not always around, right? Miguel, who's now in Spain, even though he's in Spain, he's still with us.
Hey everyone. Congratulations to everybody for a great presentation. Especially for 539, it's been super impressive because I've been more decoupled from the code base now. I've just been looking at the product and some feedback on the UX, but I haven't looked at the product day to day, right? So seeing the changes is like, wow, and now looking at the presentation and all the new features and new look and feel and so many improvements, it's incredible. So congratulations to everyone, great effort. Your presentations were great too, so I hope that it's a great cherry on top of your bootcamp experience. And I'm very sorry that I'm not going to be there tonight. I heard from Prima you guys are going bowling. I hope you have a blast, but you have some time to steam off and just cool down after a lot of hard work. And yeah, congratulations. As I always say, and I always have said, this is your house now. You're all alumni. So you can always come back. You're very welcome to come back and code, build, speak, talk to the next generation or other batches. Just feel free to hang out and extend your level of experience as much as you can, because it's really worth it after bootcamp. Like bootcamp is fine, but after bootcamp is when you really start to get the value out. So yeah, great effort. Congratulations to everybody, and have a great time tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure to be in this journey with you.
Yeah, it's for me. Thank you so much for your time. For those who are joining on Zoom, we'll see each other again probably anytime soon. And yeah, that's about it. And it's time to party!